welcome to or welcome back to my channel. This is where we talk about all things cozy hobbies, low spend living and personal curriculums, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you how I approached putting together my December curriculum a little bit more manageable for the upcoming holiday season. I'd mentioned in previous videos that I started off hot with my August curriculum and I had so many things I wanted to do and it was almost like a quarterly curriculum. So my approach for December is little and often, and that's kind of my mantra for all of life at the moment, because I don't know about you, but I can fall into black and white thinking a lot, and it's like I'm either doing it or I'm not doing it. I'm either reading all the books or I'm not reading at all. In general, I'm really trying to think about less is more and quality over quantity, particularly when we're coming into a season where people can give gifts just for the sake of it. And particularly this time of year, there's such a pressure to buy things and to consume things. So I feel like that's kind of informed where I'm coming from in terms of less is more, enjoy the little things, and just to be a little bit more conscious of quality over quantity. So that's kind of the mindset that I have coming into December, and just to kind of think about what's most important, which is obviously spending time with friends, family, pets, just using your time wisely, because hopefully wherever you are in the world you get a little bit of time off over this Christmas season. It would be so nice to take a bit of time and just plan whether you're going to have a movie marathon or whether you want to go for a particular walk in nature or read books, rather than just kind of scrolling your phone or just like sitting there doing nothing, which is so easy to do. This is Ziggy, my cat. So I feel like I've told you a lot about him and you haven't met him yet. So this is him. He's just awake and he's a little baby. So I'm going to let him out and then I will finish the video. I'm going to take you through what I have been putting together for my December curriculum. I'm going to fill you in on what I have been doing, what's been working for me, what hasn't been working for me. I've currently read 30 books. So I can honestly say that for 2026, if I do set a reading goal at all, I'm just going to scale it back, because it's an example of where I love reading, and because I read 45 books in 2024, I was like higher, and it's like I know that I don't need to have a reading goal to read books, and if anything it puts a pressure on me, and when I'm pressured I don't want to do it. So that's kind of the approach that I want to take for the personal curriculum, and it's just a reminder to you as well that you are doing this as a hobby and there shouldn't be a pressure. Like, I think it's important to build time in to actually do what we want to do and to reach our goals, but there should never be a pressure. I want to talk about an audiobook that I just listened to in November, which is The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. And I feel like this book was super popular about 10 years ago and everyone is just like, okay, no, not for me. But I listened to this book in terms of how Marie was talking about how items have energy and items want to serve you. But on the flip side of that, that if you have so many items and your place is cluttered with stuff that you don't use, it's just not really a good vibe or a good energy. And that kind of got me thinking about how I created this new desk space that I have here that I sit at. I sit at every day. I sit at it if I'm working from home or if I'm just doing YouTube stuff or if I'm writing. And creating this space and clearing things out to make this space brought so much new energy into my life. That's the approach that I want to bring into December, and I want to bring into next year as well. As someone who has a whole bookcase of books that I haven't read yet, I really had to have a look and be like, okay, I bought this book 3 years ago, I haven't read it yet. Do I still want to read it? And if I do want to read it, can I prioritise that? That led me to getting rid of like a massive bag of books, which I am selling to Chapters, the secondhand bookstore. It's really led me to have a little bit of a mindset shift in terms of what I choose to fill my space with. Someone who is saving to buy a house with my partner, it is tricky to save, absolutely, but it's trickier to save when we are conditioned to shop, we are conditioned to buy things, we're conditioned to just, you know, not think about, do we need this, or do we even have space for this item? So it's something that I'm trying to be more mindful of, and it's something that I've actually built into my mini file of facts, which I'm looking for here, if you could see me looking around. So I have like a little tracker here for any things, like a wish list, like anything I want to buy, or if I'm getting an impulse to like randomly buy something, I'll write it down and reflect on it. And when I went to donate some of my stuff to the charity shop, I ended up coming out with another 4 books, but I will show you. So it's kind of informing part of my December curriculum, taking the time to read those classics that I've always wanted to read, but I never have. And I'm saying that because I am about 70% through Wuthering Heights, and it's such a good book. It could be one of my favourites from this year. And I'm just kind of like, why did I not read this sooner? And the only reason I haven't finished it is because I've been reading a few other books at the same time. And also I got this book on a 10-day short loan. I don't know how to say it, but
Katabasis.
30 pages in, I started listening to it on audiobook, but I didn't really connect with the narrator. I need to read this. So this has to happen. So that's why like I haven't finished Wuthering Heights. They're just books that I got from the charity shop. So I think they were €1 or €2 each, and they are 1992 editions, I believe. So nearly as old as me. So we have Emma. And it's funny because I had these on like my vision board, Pinterest board. And we have Sense and Sensibility. Like I had these exact ones saved, and then they just appeared in the charity shop. I was like, wow. And then we have Jane Eyre. So I love the covers. Like I do like the modern classic covers, but there's something about the vintage ones that are lovely. And then this one as well, it is Mansfield Park, and this is a Wordsworth classic, so this one isn't a Penguin one. It's kind of leading back to what I was saying, quality over quantity, and even the whole thing of like reading goals and just putting this sort of numerical value on something that's supposed to be fun and enjoyable. Definitely keep a reading tracker for sure, because I love to look back on what I've actually read, but feeling bad that you haven't read X number of books in a year is just ridiculous. And I'm pretty sure I say this every single video, but I would recommend getting yourself a little notebook. This is a dupe traveler's notebook. I feel like if I don't write something down, I'm not going to remember it, and a lot of the time if I write something down on my phone in Notes app, it just gets lost. Like I just don't know what it is when I come back to it. On the flip side, there's a lot of people who feel like if you can't remember what it was when you wrote it down, it wasn't worth pursuing. So I know Anne Lamott spoke about this in Bird by Bird, and she was kind of basically saying she falls into the camp where she has to write everything down or she doesn't remember. And some of her writer friends were like, oh, well, it obviously wasn't that important. And I think I'm more like Anne. Recently listened to a podcast interview with him, and he was talking about how if he has these thoughts and if he doesn't get to write them down and if it's just gone, he's like, well, it wasn't really worth pursuing. Let me know if this is something that you do. Do you write things down as you get the inspiration, or do you just let it go? Another thing that I have been neglecting is my lovely index card box. Mostly my index card box just has like chores in it, hybrid of like a creative box and a sort of ideas box. A new section called Notes on Creativity. So I don't know if you can see that or not. I literally only have one index card, but just for the purpose of making a point to say that I am going to do more index cards, I will show you. Creating spaces for creativity. So this is kind of what I was talking about earlier in the video. So I wrote a desk as a creative hub, and that's very much what I was talking about, that if you create that space for yourself, either mentally or physically or both, you will allow that flow of energy to generate. And I know that sounds very woo-woo, but I do believe stuff like that. Writing in order to produce inspiration. And that's an idea that came from Refuse to Be Done by Matt Bell. But you might have to just get up and do the thing in order to get that inspiration. And it's like practice makes perfect, and little by little approach. It's just about showing up and doing the thing, and in doing that you're going to gain more. So that's kind of the theme of December, and hopefully 2026 for me as well. A lot of change, and I think that are just not letting a little bit of flow and a little bit of trusting in what's meant to be will be happen. You are going to just feel really anxious and really stressed, and that is definitely something I have been guilty of in the past and something I'm trying to work on. So I'm trying to just bring that into the personal curriculum as well. We've reached my favourite part of the video, which is going through my actual curriculum that I have put together for December. So if you have your December curriculum prepared, or if you're in the process of preparing it, let me know what you're thinking of studying. How has the journey been so far, and have you made any changes to what you thought you wanted to learn about? And I'd also love to know, do you do this analog style in a notebook, or do you do it like online digitally? Our unit is The Artist's Way, and that will be continuing to do the morning pages every day. Now I don't do them every day, I do them I'd say 5 days out of the week, which is okay. I feel like I've maybe fallen off a little bit with, like, I'm not being as intentional with it. I've definitely been doing creative stuff and been trying new things, but I haven't actually put in my calendar, this is my artist's day. So I'd like to just put a little bit more intention into that. Then I have making time to do the Artist's Way exercises. So basically at every chapter you have these reflective exercises that help you kind of see how have you been getting on, is there anything you need to work on, etc. And I had been really good at doing these towards the start of the journey, but I just feel like I've fallen off. And actually they are really helpful, as much as you might be like, oh, I don't have time for this, because I read back over some of the exercises I did from during the summer, and it's really interesting to see how my mindset has already shifted from say June to now, which is end of November. So yeah, I do want to get back into that. And then my action for the Artist's Way core unit is to create an index card section to document quotes from the book and thoughts. And I think this will work really well, because my whole Artist's Way book is literally covered in notes, covered in like highlights, everything. So I feel like it would be nice to maybe transcribe that into index cards and just have that live over there. So it means that if I want to hone into a particular idea or a particular section, I can just take the index card and use that as inspiration, rather than having to like flick through the whole book. So I feel like that will be really good, and I feel like it will be interesting to see what the common theme is between everything that I've highlighted and everything that I've really connected with in the book. And I keep looking up because the book is on the shelf up there, just in case you're like, what is she looking at? I've mostly been reading books on writing as opposed to actually writing. So that is definitely something that I need to put into practice. Like, I do a lot of planning, a lot of personal journaling, but I haven't actually sat down to write something on a particular topic in a long time. And I think that's something that I'd like to do, but I feel a little bit intimidated about it. So for this unit, Writers 201, I have that I want to read On Writing by Stephen King. So I picked this up a few months ago, and I've really wanted to read it, but I just haven't for whatever reason. And when I was in the charity shop the other day, I saw a brand new copy of it, and I was like, what? That is so weird. So I'm taking that as a sign that that needs to be my next book that I need to read for this module. And my action is to write reflectively daily, be open to trying new methods of writing, and also to redesign my personal website into a space to share writing and more. So I mentioned that previously, that I did have a personal website, but I didn't really do anything with it. Back in the day when I was a teenager, I was really into building websites, HTML, JavaScript, all that type of thing. And I just fell off with it, and I still do have an interest in it, but like I wouldn't be as good as today's standard. So that's kind of like a project that I'd like to do. Maybe over the Christmas period, I'll see, because I'm not too sure how long it would take me. But I feel like it would be a really nice companion piece to my YouTube to have a sort of like written blog style, just a little bit slower than, you know, sharing on social media sites. So that's just an idea. I did have it as a module first of all, but now I just have it as a sort of container space, physical media. Watch the Wuthering Heights movie, which I got from the charity shop. I had no idea that there was a Wuthering Heights movie coming out next year and that Charlie XCX has done the music for it. So actually my manager in work was telling me about this and I was like, wow, that is like very unexpected. So I'm actually really excited to go see that because I heard it is not like the book at all. It's kind of takes inspiration but like not comparable. So I think that'll be really interesting to compare back to the book and compare back to the movie that I have to watch. And then just in terms of physical media, I've written a note saying Substack rather than TikTok. So just that, like, obviously I am going to be on my phone. I'm not going to say that I'm never going to be on my phone, but just to be a little bit more mindful about what I consume when I do pick my phone up. Next we have books to read, and that is in pink, and I've already touched on this at the start of the video, but I have Katabasis, I'm going to just say it as Katabasis because I'm not too sure, by R.F. Kuang, and I just have a note saying the audiobook didn't connect with my mind, which I did say. The narrator was good. It's nothing, no shade on the narrator. I'm just very fussy with stuff like that, and as I said, that is a 10-day loan and I'm already a few days in, so I need to get it done. But I am enjoying it. I did start reading it again and I actually much prefer reading it than listening to it, so I feel like I will read that and it'll be fine. Next up I have finished Wuthering Heights, which I've already mentioned, and I'm nearly finished, so I will have that done soon. And then I do have additional library hauls, which I will just grab the additional library hauls that I have. So I started reading this one, but then because of the other library hauls that came, I had to stop. So it is The Bookwoman's Daughter, and I actually got this because I was watching a YouTube documentary on the Blue people of Kentucky, and this book is set in that time period. Actually really interesting, and it's a historical fiction, but actually there's photos of the people who inspired the book in the back. So like for example, there's a female firefighter and there's like pictures of the real female firefighter in the back here, and like female miners, and then these librarians that go around on horseback. So it's set in Kentucky, as I said, and I didn't know anything about this until I watched a documentary on YouTube, and then I just googled to see if there was any books about the topic, and I just thought something that would be a historical fiction would be a good way to go about it. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. It's just I have a lot to get through. So then next, in terms of non-fiction, we have The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion, and I do hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't really know anything about this other than it's meant to be absolutely amazing. It looks quite a short book. I think I read like the first page just to check that I liked the vibe, and I did. So definitely looking forward to reading this. And then this next one I think was on the booker list or some book list, correct me please someone. And I just put it on the library hauls, and of course everything in the library arrives at once. That is the rule of the library. It's like you could be waiting for something for months. Lastly, my Magic and Delight module, which is all about the little fun things in life and taking time to do them, because it's so easy to get caught up in reading dense books or doing chores or, you know, bigger goals, and just to kind of forget that the small joys in life are equally as important, if not more important. So for this month I have felt decoration making. I have this massive bag of felt and stuffing and everything to make these decorations. So I'm thinking Christmas decorations, I'm thinking bookmarks, this is my new hyperfixation. It is felt decorations, and I will just show you the Ziggy decoration in case you didn't see it in the previous video. It does kind of look like a child made it, but look, I'm all about tapping into your inner child. This is the little felt piece that I made. So it's meant to be inspired by Ziggy. So you've finally seen what Ziggy looks like. So I think that's an absolute replica. Like, you wouldn't know if that was the real cat or if that was a felt ornament. My next thing on the list is that I've been really enjoying Animal Crossing again. I've been getting so into it, and I got a Black Friday notification from Nintendo that the DLC content, which is like home decorator, I think it's called, something like that, where you get to decorate the villagers' homes, is on offer. Next on the Magic and Delight list is a solo date to a cafe to do some journaling, do some filofax stuff, and it's something that I've actually wanted to do for a while. And funnily enough, I've no problem going for food on my own or getting a coffee on my own. Doesn't bother me at all. But for some reason, sitting down and actually journaling in public on my own, that seems like a big deal. Like, I'd read on my own, that's fine, but journaling, that seems a bit scary. So I'm like, okay, if it seems scary, then I need to try it out. I need to give it a go. And then last on my Magic and Delight is creating more space. So the Marie Kondo method of letting things go that no longer serve me, clearing things out. Just to think about that when I am shopping and buying things as well, to really, really be clear on if I need the item or if I'm just trying to fill a void or fill an emotion. Like, am I bored? Am I stressed? Why am I buying this? Creating my own good energy and practicing gratitude. So really getting clear on where I am getting my happiness from, and grateful for all the good stuff that does happen. It's not about fake gratitude, because obviously if you're feeling sad and feeling down, you need to feel that and you need to kind of work through that. But it's also about not being ungrateful for all the amazing things that we have in our lives. So I'm going to leave it there. That is my December personal curriculum. I feel like it is a similar vibe to what I normally do, but a little bit of a different twist. Let me know if you are doing a personal curriculum, and let me know if there's any similarities between mine and yours. And I hope you have been enjoying your personal curriculum journey. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.